My name is Madeline, and this video, will be in English because it was requested many times if I could talk about my all-in journey in English. And yes, sure, I can. And I thought this is also a good possibility to remember or just, think about the last 6 months, me going all in, what happened and what was my experience and where I am right now. So this is kind of like a walking down the memory lane, which I mean half a year is not that long, but for me it seems like I don't know, light years ago. So I'll just start. Maybe also because it was I was asked a couple times how my eating disorder actually kind of developed and what the stories behind that. So I think I was a, just happy kid. I was outside a lot, I was running around. But at one point I started eating a lot of sugar in front of the TV. I was kind of bored. I would call it emotional eating. I don't know, like just, filling gaps in my life with food. And at this point, when I was like a teenager, I think I was always around 70 kilos. So, which is normal for my height and which is 1.77 meters. So, and then I wanted to lose weight. As like a teenager, you want to look pretty and all that. So I started just eating less during the week. I had no lunch, no breakfast in school. And when I came home, I was just, like eating everything at once, pushing it all in because I was so hungry all the time. Also during the weekends, I thought like, okay, if I'm starving during the week, I can eat as much as I want at the weekend. So I was binging again. Just cakes and sugar and all that. So I thought this can't be the way because I was not losing weight like on a long term. I went to university and I started exercising a lot. I had like I would say normal eating behaviors. I was eating a lot. I was vegetarian at this time, like over 10 years. I was not eating meat, but fish. But I was eating a lot of carbs and also processed carbs. So I was not really thinking about my diet. I was just enjoying fitness and exercise. And I also started the Irish dance, which is very demanding exercise, like high cardio, also like very fast movements, and you need a lot of strength for high jumping. But for that reason, I love this sport. I just love it. So and I fell in love with it right away. But I also was really kind of not really competitive, but I thought like if there's a sport I want to kind of, succeed, then it's Irish dance. So I started training a lot, like a couple of times a week for a couple hours. And then I also realized that if I would weigh less, it would be easier for me to jump higher. So again, I had that thought, how to lose weight. And that was actually during my PhD time. I was in Toronto for a couple of months, and there I was like away from home, just my normal environment. So I started trying to exclude sugar from my diet. So I was not eating sugar when I was in Toronto. And I'm in English now, sorry. And it worked well. So I was there for 3 months, and I think I lost weight around like 7-8 kilos something without effort. So I was not even exercising a lot when I was there. I had a little bit of Irish dance lessons. I was like, I went jogging once in a while, but not really intensive. So when I came home, people were looking at me. It's like, oh, you lost weight. You look awesome. Like these kind of things that you hear. And it's like, okay, yeah. So maybe, I push it further. So then I started intermediate fasting. I cut out carbs. I was keto for a while, a couple months. Then I started also going into weightlifting and body weight training. So I then also realized that I was kind of yo-yoing with my weight. So I lost a couple of kilos, and I don't know, I was really hungry, so I started eating more. I would not really say I was binging, but I was definitely not really controlling anymore how I was eating. So then I started just eating again. And that went on for a while, for a couple of years, until I met my boyfriend. He is Canadian, and like he grew up with athletes around him, like really good athletes, like Olympics level. So he was training a lot with them, and like gymnastics and all that. So he looked at me and he said, you look kind of starved. Like you have not really muscle. You're thin, but you don't look healthy. And from this point, I was like, yes, I think he's right. So I was not even putting on muscles anymore because I had not that energy left. So I was limiting my portion size, counting calories, eating mostly keto, all that. So I went back also to eating meat again, and I tried a lot of things. So the first year I met my boyfriend, after that, I think I kind of started recovery without even knowing, because at this point I didn't know what it is. I just let go with my hunger cues. I was just eating whatever I wanted. And I felt safe around him too. So yeah, I put on a couple kilos very fast. But at this time, I was still exercising a lot. So I went to the gym 3 times a week for like 2-3 hours. And then I had my Irish dance like for 2 to 3 times a week for 2 to 3 hours. So basically my life evolved around exercise. And then, I kind of gained muscles and also gained weight. It kind of hit me, and it's like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to look like that. I have to lose weight again. So that was the biggest mistake. But at this point, I didn't know better. And so because I tried everything and was not losing weight, I kind of thought, okay, what can I do? So I cut down my portion sizes even more. Like I went back to restricting. I started with Ayurveda, and I kind of had like little portions over the day. And then I had intermediate fasting for 16 hours every day, and not eating carbs and exercising again, like a lot, like really intensive. And that worked well in terms of losing weight. I was not really waiting in between, but I know at the beginning I was like 70, and then in December last year, and I started Ayurveda in June last year. So a couple months in between. In December, I weighed myself and I was like 55 kilos. And yeah, at this point, I was totally losing my view of how I look, how I am feeling. I felt like horrible. I don't know, like I felt tired all the time. I asked myself why I'm not able to perform in sport anymore. I couldn't do a push-up anymore. I couldn't do anything. I was just so tired. I went to bed at 8 o'clock and was sleeping the whole night and morning. I was still tired and cold all the time. And I was thinking about food all the time. Like I had my intermediate fasting deadlines, and I took them very, very seriously, like to the second, to the minute. Awful, really. Like I was so into it, and like an obsession. And I thought, if I break my rules, that something bad will happen. I was afraid of gaining weight again, which, this fear was real, like the way I treated my body, this was not natural for him. And of course, if he had the possibility to gain weight because I would give him more energy, he would have done it. And that fear, I knew that, deep down, I knew that this is not healthy the way I have right now. So, but I wanted to maintain it. I was so afraid of gaining weight. Like this was the biggest fear for me. So yeah. And I was at this time 36, I'm 37 now. So, and yeah, I had the wish to become pregnant, and I haven't had my period in years, not like regularly, but also not at all. So I thought, okay, I want to become pregnant. I want to have the possibility to to become pregnant in a natural way. So I went to the children's child wish clinic, I think. Yeah, child wish clinic it's called. So, and they said that I have oh my god, I can say that in English. Hypothalamic amenorrhea. Okay, I think I'll write it down and just put it in the video. You know what I mean. HA, I will call it from now. So basically, where your hypothalamus, the part in your brain that is responsible for sending signals to glands that actually helps you to, have ovulation, all that. So basically, this thing was not working anymore for me because this area in the brain regulates like heat and also the water in your body, and if you have enough energy, how much food you're taking in and how much energy you're burning. So it's kind of like a center for regulation. And if there's an imbalance in energy, if you have an energy deficit, also if you put too much stress on yourself with exercise, if you're already low in weight, these are all factors that can cause the ovulation not to happen, because it just stops. There's no signal anymore. So I had that, and I was asking the doctor, what can we do? And she said, well, looked at me and said, you exercising a lot? And I said, yes. So that was the first recommendation. But also she wanted to give me artificial hormones that kind of bridge that gap. So for me, it was pretty clear that I will try it in a natural way. So I thought like, okay, if it's the exercise and the weight, I'll stop exercising, I'll stop restricting, and I'll just gain weight. And so from there, I started slowly, putting more thoughts into that, because the fear of not being able to having a family in a natural way was actually bigger than the fear of gaining weight. I also asked myself, one day if I'll become pregnant, how to deal with that weight gain. I was like, I don't know, that won't be possible. But that also at the same time made me think, because it's a natural process. Why should you be afraid of that? So I was thinking a lot, just put it that way. And so I think it was in March where I discovered the whole idea about All In, and that I actually really had an eating disorder. At this point, I was not even aware of it. I wasn't aware of it, that I was underweight for many months. I would say like within the last couple of years, I was underweight every once in a while, coming back and forth. But I definitely put my body in a position which was not healthy, not at all. So I lost my hair, I had horrible skin, like very dry skin, and also I had problems with my bladder. All these things kind of appeared, and I was not sure where it was coming from. Also had digestive problems, and now looking back, all these symptoms were, they were symptoms caused by this eating disorder. Yeah, once I realized that was really, like a punch in the face. I remember that evening, that was my boyfriend, he looked at me and then he said, I have potatoes here and you have to eat these potatoes now. And I went crazy. I said, no, I'm not eating them. I was so afraid of a potato to eat it. And he's like, I think you have a problem. And I was like, no, I don't want them. And so, I don't know, I was like a little child. And the next day I realized that, I have to do something. Like, this can't go on like that. And also my family, my friends, they started worrying about me, like every time they saw me, I was thinner and thinner. So yeah, I said, no more. And that's how I ended up with the all-in approach. And I watched videos from Kayla and Tabitha Fareh and a couple other girls in the internet, because first I looked it up in German. I also looked up my that's hypothalamic amenorrhea, HA, what to do, but I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find a video in German. Like one girl, she talked about it. She was also very slim and athletic. And then I could see her, the fear in her face, that when she found out that, this is not healthy if you not have your period of a long time. Because at this point, I wasn't caring so much. I thought like, okay, well, it's not a big deal. If I'm not, bleeding every month, I mean, it's even more handy though. But then I realized that this is a big part of your health system, that your hormones are in check. Especially for women, it's not only about, being fertile. If you don't want to have kids, then you might say, I don't need that. It's not only about that. It's about your emotional well-being. It's about your bone density, the health of your bones. So many things that are influenced by estrogen and these hormones. So once I realized that, I felt like, I don't know, I have to do something right now. So I started hormone yoga, and then I started the all-in approach in March 2020. And that's why I wanted to document my journey. So I started making the videos. At this point, just very randomly. Like, I remember the first week I did that every day because I was so curious about what happened, what will happen, how do I feel. So yeah, looking back, I might just to summarize it a bit. The first week was like just like eating. I think I was like, a dog that was on a leash for so long, and then somebody just cut the leash off and I was just running. So the first week I was just eating so much and I couldn't stop myself. It was after that I realized, there is something called the refeeding syndrome, that if you haven't eaten a lot for a long time, that it's actually dangerous to start eat whatever you want. I figured in my case, because I always was eating, there was not like, I was restricting, but I was still eating. And when I first realized that I have a problem, I started cutting, I started stopping the intermediate fasting. And I also started to increase my carbs intake. So slowly I kind of prepared myself without even knowing, because at this point I didn't know about all in. I just slowly tried to, go over my fears and eat more and not fast anymore, not restrict in that point. But at this point, I was still not eating sugar or anything like that. Not at all. I was not even thinking about it. So I thought, I might just fix it like that. I'll just eat a bit more rice and a couple of potatoes in the evening, and then I'm not fasting anymore, and that's it. Because at the point, I couldn't do it anymore. My body was just starving so much, and it was like a vicious circle, because my brain wanted to fast. I wanted to do that 16 hours gap in between, because I thought, this is healthy. That keeps me from gaining weight. So if you're not able to do it, it's just because you don't have not enough willpower. Looking back is like, I had a lot of willpower, because so many times I pushed myself over these natural hunger cues, which were sometimes so bad that I thought, I'm going crazy here. But for some reason, I was able to do it. I don't know. That also shows me if you have something in your mind, like a goal or whatever, in this case, goal, just to keep thin. I don't know, like there's so much strength behind that to push through, that now I want to use that strength for real goals, something that I really want in my life, that is really important for me and healthy, which, for example, like Irish dance, or like I'm going back to drawing, and also have my own business, that I put this energy into something good. Yeah, anyway, so the first week I was eating so much. I would say like a day, maybe between 6,000 or 7,000 calories. I was also reading the book No Period, No What, and there were a lot of good informations, a lot of recommendations in it about how much calories you should eat a day. And there was the recommendation, like how tall you are, how much you weighed, I think, but basically how old and how tall you were. I think about that. So for me, it was 2,300 calories. And it was said, make sure that at least you cover that. And everything on top is good. Just go for it. Don't trek over that, but make sure that at least you have the 2,300 calories. And yes, I had that at least. So... And then, the first week, even the first and the second week, and you can see that in the videos, that I had really like hot, how you say that, like hot, it was really warm during the night. Hot flashes, yeah, hot flashes during the night. So I was sweating crazy, and I was hungry all the time. In the morning, the first thing I was eating until the whole day to the evening, even during the night. I have like a cat. Sometimes he runs inside and outside. Whenever he came in, I was like, oh, okay, now I'm awake. Now I can eat, or I can eat. Although it was like 3 in the morning. So yeah, and I also felt like a lot of swelling and edema and weight gain already in the first week. This picture here is not that was not the lowest, because I started documenting where I was already eating more. And I also realized that I was craving a lot of dairy products. So like milk and cottage cheese. I don't know, so much of it. And I was like, had a stomach ache so badly. And I thought like, why am I eating all that? And I read that actually this is also the treatment that doctors give patients in the hospital or whatever they want to cure that eating disorder thing, to prepare the patients for more food, because in milk products you have like calcium, magnesium, so in order to prevent that refeeding syndrome. So my body kind of knew what to do, obviously, but still that was scary, with the refeeding thing, like reading about this afterwards. Also, all the damages that can occur to your heart. And I was talking about that to Kayla too, and I think with her must have been even worse, because she was so lean. But she also said, at this point she was not really thinking about it, not even knowing afterwards it came. But she's healthy, and yeah. So then I think the first and the second month were really changing a lot in my journey. So I started feeling much better. I right away, the first couple of days when I was eating more, I felt relieved that I don't have to do this restriction anymore, that I'm free now. And I also felt like much happier. I felt, I don't know, I can't really explain it. So just like more grounded, not, hovering above the ground anymore with my head in the sky and in the clouds, but being more clear in my head and now seeing much better the whole situation. So seeing better through all that. That, was pretty nice. Yeah, so I had to put on more light. It was such a nice day and the sun was there, but now the clouds are coming. And although it's like really bright now in my eye, I think it's better for you to see me. So yeah, where were I? So my mood went up really, really fast. And also, my libido came back. And I felt just, I don't know, much better, that this is the right decision for me. There was no doubt at the beginning anymore, because I don't know, I was just so desperate. I thought like I tried everything. And so I was just so ready. I was just so ready for it. And I thought, gaining weight, this can't be that bad than the life I had before. So yeah. And I think after 2 months already, I got my period back, which I found to be very quick. So I didn't expect that this will happen so fast. And also it was, pretty like normal, I would say. So not very strong or not very light and not very painful, but just like normal. So I felt like, wow, okay, my hormones seem to be okay now. Of course, I wanted to wait like 3 months in a row, because that is recommended time to wait until you should go back, for example, for exercising, or if you want to become pregnant, you should wait 3 months in order to let your body kind of settle down and just get that whole system going. So and I was not exercising at all. So I stopped every exercise in this point. But also looking back, I think I wouldn't be able to do it, because I had really pain in my whole body. The first 2 weeks, I felt like something just went right over me. And so a good friend of mine, she studied nutritional science. I would say. And she watched these videos, and she said, actually, like having these heart problems, and also the breathing, and also the edema and the muscle edges, aches, that you have pain in your muscles. This is actually a sign of the refeeding syndrome. But I guess, it's there are different levels of that. But yeah, as she told me that, I was like, all right, yeah. But these symptoms went away pretty fast, and so I think within the first 3 weeks, I felt much better. And from this point, I enjoyed it a lot, but also gained a lot of weight within the first couple weeks. I think I mentioned it in the videos. I'm not sure anymore how actually have to think back. Was that so? I think I started around 55 kilos or something, and within the first 2 weeks, I might have put on like 10 kilos or something. So it was pretty fast, but I felt much better with that weight on me, more on me, and then I was I was shortly before I should have my third period, and I was not really paying attention. I thought like, okay, is it safe? Nothing can happen, because it was just a couple of days before the period should come, and but I got pregnant, which I was really surprised, because also that I was not expecting so fast, because half a year before, the doctors told me that there's no way for me at the moment to become pregnant in a natural way, and then all of a sudden, just a couple months later, it's like, whoa, hello. And this time it was a bit different with it all in, because there are a couple things you shouldn't eat when you're pregnant. So I had to go back kind of to not restricting, but taking and paying more attention to my eating. And at this point, I was not really hungry anymore. So my hunger went down like a lot. So I was maybe taking in 2,000 calories a day or something, like a little bit more. And so I was worrying a little bit if this is actually enough for the pregnancy, and if I am eating enough nutrition, all that. So that kind of put me back, but I was aware of it, and I thought, as long as I'm eating enough calories and also eating more or less what I want, at this point, I actually also was not craving a lot of sugars anymore. I don't know if that was because of the pregnancy or because of the progress in the whole process. It's hard to say. So, and at this point, at 4 months, I would say I felt like being on the plateau weight, which was about 75, 80 kilos, something like that. And it was a big problem for me to gain that much weight. I felt very, very insecure. Huge. I felt just huge. I thought like, this is not me anymore. And when I saw in my mirror, and also, at this point, I was a lot at home. It was the shutdown, which helped me personally a lot, because it was a good reason for me to stay at home and just focus on my process. And I don't need to expose myself to the world and explain why I'm looking now like that. Of course, there were questions from friends, from colleagues, and so I explained that very open. I said, I don't want to go that way anymore with the eating disorder. So I want to become healthy. I want to have a family. That's why I'm doing this, and it might take a while. This is only the beginning, what you see right now, so this goal having in my mind that it seemed to work for other women, why shouldn't work it for me? That was a big thing for me to keep going and to go over these fears. And I also mentioned that in the interview with Kayla, that I was so afraid of gaining weight because I found out that I was abused as a teenager, and this was for me that I just don't want it to become a woman. I don't want it to look like a woman. I just don't want it to be one, and not having curves, So I rather wanted to stay thin. And this fear was so huge because there was more behind that. Not only looking thin and athletic, it was not only like a you say that like a yeah, anyway, word. Well, there was more behind that, and once I realized that, I was able to work through that, fear disappeared, and now I actually enjoy being more, woman-like, having more curves, and yeah, enjoying to be a woman. That's a huge thing for me because I never really did that, including having a regular cycle, and yeah, that makes such a big difference for my life. And yeah, I'm just way calmer and more relaxed, and I think it has a lot to do with hormones. So yeah, and but unfortunately, I had a miscarriage. So in the ninth week, I think. And that, yeah, of course, was a very emotional time for me on top of that whole going all in thing. But I also was very thankful that, I was able to become pregnant. And I'm sure that this will be another time the case. And that my body might just not been ready for this. Oh, it wasn't ready at this point. So that whole process of going all in actually also taught me to being way more thankful to my body because I see now what it's doing every day for me, and treating it well and giving it everything that it wants is now something so naturally to me, and I don't need to think about it anymore. And I have a way better communication to my body. I know when exercise might be too much or when it's good for me. I know how hard I should exercise, what I should eat, when I should eat, how much I should eat. This is, yeah, a nice reconnection to nature and to myself. Yeah. I know this sounds like very I don't know if somebody is paying me for that, for advertising that whole process. But I also talked about this to my friend who studied the nutritional science, because in one of my last video, I mentioned this comparison with a bank account where you put in, if you're if you have credit and all that. So I heard that from Stephanie Buttermore, and then I talked about this, and she said, you know what, all these models and all these theories, they come and go. Also, that set point theory is, shifted to a settling point theory. And so I decided, for me, you know what, I actually don't care about all these theories. I don't care about how they named and all that. For me, I just see that this is working, that I have my period that I have my period back. Sorry, I just was talking so much yesterday and today that a lot of videos and so yeah, also feeling better. My whole life is like, it's glowing now, and this is nice. So yeah, and I don't know, when was that? The 5th and the 6th month. Actually, there was not a lot of change for me. I felt I was still on my plateau weight, and now actually I think I'm losing weight slowly. So it's going down, maybe, or not, which is also for me, it's okay. I am right now, I feel very good. Mostly, I am very happy the way it is right now. And also having that strength to stay behind that and to say, yes, this is my way. This is also something you learn through the process, that you are your best friend. You become your best friend. And if you yourself, like, kind of, I would just say, like, be angry with you or just like push yourself down, if you do it, who else should be on your side if you're not on your side? And I realized that because also I did a lot of like psychological work, or also there's one book called Ein Kurs im Wundern. I don't know or the English description. I'll find it out. I'll write it down. That helps me a lot because there are a lot of questions in that book about what do you think? And that your thoughts have a meaning, that this is not just, like meaningless chatter in your head, but this is actually something you should take care about and you should pay attention to. And I realized how much and how often on a daily basis I tell myself that I'm not good enough, that I'm not attractive enough, I'm not sexy enough, I'm not clever enough, and all that. I really went into that rabbit hole and made clear for myself that I am not defining myself anymore over my body. And yeah, but I had to come to that point through breakdowns just to, because yeah, literally my view of myself was breaking down like a cookie, just crumbling, because everything that I thought, I believed I was, like healthy, fit, thin, successful, all that, kind of crumpled down when I looked closer. I wasn't healthy and I was not fit. I couldn't lift anything anymore because I had no strength. And I wasn't happy. And also I was not successful in a way that I am, like a nice person to be around with. And to realize that all these things that I kind of created in my mind, they're actually not there, left me alone with nothing. And so I had to rethink what I am actually right now. And then I went behind the scenes, and that was also a good talk I had with Kayla, because on my way we had a lot of interactions. I booked her a couple of times to just support my journey and to have a little backup. That helped a lot. So she also said, you need to find that mental shift in your brain that makes you having a new view of yourself, that you are more than your body, that you are a good person, just kind of go through the things you like of yourself, but really deep down, what kind of person you are. It's hard to describe. If if you realize it, then you know the difference from before and after. And so it's just that you like yourself, that you think of yourself as a good person. And if you see that there are a couple things in your life that you would like to change, it's also about every time you do something, you just do it in your best situation. Like, you can look back and I said, oh, I should have done something different. But at this point, it was the best decision because you did it. So there's no way to, being angry with yourself about making bad decisions. I could, think about, or I did that actually. I thought, like, maybe, I wasted so many years of my life thinking about food and exercising and pushing myself over the limits. But that is part of my story, and it's good like that. So integrating all these aspects is actually nice, because now I'm learning from it, and I know the difference, and I can help others on their way, which I would like to. Anyways, so that brings me actually to now. I would say so now, 6 months all in. I am doing very well. I have lots of energy. I'm actually now 1 year in my self-employment as a scientist and also an author, and also, I think this is a package. I have to go back. Wait a minute, please. So, I'm back. Well, it's just the mail, the postman. It was the postman. Not so easy. A little kind of, where were I? Again. Okay, so I was just wanted to say that I am happy. I'm just happy about every day now that I am in that process. With me now, with the eating, it's just such a normal thing. I don't think about food anymore. I am just eating when I'm hungry, and I stop when I'm full. And every time it's like, what should I eat today? So I just pick what I like. And which is, not sugar all the time, not at all. Having vegetables and salad and like bread or pasta, rice. I like Asian food, Indian food, all kinds, like also sometimes having a pizza, just normal. This seems to me just normal that way it is right now. And I'm sure that also my body will change over the time. And I am curious where it will go. And also looking to, I'm watching the videos of Stephanie Buttermore like regularly because I really admire her strength and that, you know, she went that road because I know how hard it is. And if you're like her in such a environment with the fitness and all that, really having the strength to, yeah, go that way. Yeah, thumbs up. And yeah, her videos are also very encouraging. They were really encouraging for me. I remember that once when she looked back, I think it was a year all in, and then she looked back and then she said, you know, when she was in the 6th month, she was on her highest weight, and she was crying because she felt so, yeah, uncomfortable. She felt like that was just too much for her. And when I watched that video, I actually was on my highest weight or at the same emotional state. I felt like I could just literally feel her pain because I had the same. And I went upstairs, you know, I was crying so much. I was just so desperate because I thought like, I don't know where this will go. I'm not sure if this is the right thing, but I can't go back. That was actually the worst thing in my mind. You know, it's like, I can't go back. I have to go through this now. So I think this is also part of the thing that you have to accept where you're at now because you know you can't go back. This is where you're at, and then you have to go ahead. You can't go back. And once you realize that, there's an acceptance that helps you to overcome it. And now looking back, I don't know, you know, and one day I just realized, oh, oops, wait a minute. I think, you know, my clothes is like a little bit loose. And I feel not that, I don't know, weird anymore, not that huge anymore, but more kind of shaped or, you know, like I like my woman body now. I don't know. I seem to forgot that time in between because I accepted it and very fast. I just kind of looked at me and it's like, whoa, something changed here, and now I do feel good. Yeah. So maybe this just like to give you a bit hope that your body is changing during that process and it will change, and just stay at his side, you know, and trust that this won't be forever, and also that you won't be hungry forever. There will be a time where the hunger goes down, at least from my experience and what I've seen from other women. So yeah, I don't know, I'm very thankful that I'm here where I am right now. And even, you know, if you are at this point right now where you think, should I do it or should I not? I received a couple of emails from women who are saying, you know, I want to do it, but I'm too afraid or I haven't commit fully yet. Is like, I would say, first of all, be nice to yourself. You know, maybe there is a reason why you haven't committed fully now, because maybe there is something like with me that first you have to look deeper, that is something is holding you back because the emotional side would be too much. But I do believe that there is a way out. If you have, you know, further questions, don't hesitate to comment on the videos and ask what you want to ask, what you want to know. I see if I can pick it up and make a Q&A video. And yeah, otherwise I will keep you updated. What I'm doing right now is like, today is the first Irish dance lesson I will have. I haven't had, wait a minute again. Today is the Irish dance lesson. Because I haven't had any Irish dance lesson in over a year. And today I have my first one and I'm so excited. I don't know what will happen if I'm able to do, you know, like the whole dances, or if I have forgotten everything. I might just not be able to jump high. I have no idea, but I am curious and I am just so happy that now I can do this sport and enjoy it. Just enjoy the sport and don't need to worry about you know, with my eating and how much calories I burn. And if I, you know, before I had to really, from the first minute of my exercise to the last minute, I was just pushing in order to make sure that I burn all the calories within these training sessions. And now it's just like, If I don't want to do it anymore, then I'll just take a break. Ha! All right. Thank you for listening. Bye.